Hello, friends, and welcome to the Virtual Strangers review discussion of Superhot VR. I am your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend, Roots. Roots, how's it going, man?
It's going off. Awesome as always, man.
Awesome as always. As always, people, it's always
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Especially when we're talking VR. And today we are talking about one of the best VR has to offer, Superhot. But we all know Superhot, right? Why are we reviewing Superhot? Everybody knows Superhot's awesome. It's an old game. Why review an old game? Well, I'll tell you why. Because even though Superhot is an old game, it's also a new game. So what do I mean by that? Why is Superhot a new game? Well, I'll tell you why. Without looking, I can guarantee you that if you go right now and look at the top 10 Steam VR sales over the last month, or the top 10 Oculus Quest sales over the last month, or the top 10 PSVR sales over the last month, you're going to see a few common denominators, and one of those being Superhot VR. Now, if we all have Superhot VR already, why is it consistently in the top 10 sales? Is it because us established early adopters just keep buying it over and over again because we love it so much? No, it's because VR is a growing medium. There are new headsets being plugged in every day, and these people, they want to know what to buy. And time again, the answer is the same thing. There's a few staples. There's Arizona Sunshine, and there's Superhot. And that's why we're talking about it here today. Of course, all of us OG VR early adopters know all about Superhot, but every day there's a new crop larger than the last one that don't know what to buy. And that's who this video is for. All right, so Superhot VR, what kind of a game is it? Roots, what kind of a game is it?
It's a badass game actually. It's a first-person shooter that manipulates time. So I almost feel like I'm cheating with that answer, but it is really, really good, and that's the beauty of it, right? The way time slows down, and it's designed to where no matter what you do, even turning your head a little bit, you move a little bit, the world starts to move, and if you stop dead still, it stops. If you start to move, it actually starts to move. Yeah. And so there's the aspect, like you were saying earlier, it's actually a puzzler as well, right?
Right, because the whole hook of this game, the whole concept it's built around, is that time moves when you move. So you have an infinite amount of time to contemplate what you're going to do. All you have to do is stand still, and you can think. And this game is more about the strategy of what you're going to do, how you're going to attack these guys, in what order, with what weapon. It's more about the strategy than it is actually the execution. You can get good at shooting the guns in VR. You can get good at punching people and throwing things, but that's not the challenge of this game. The challenge of this game is is the strategy. So you're right. I think of this more as a time manipulation puzzler than I do a first person shooter game. And it's a really unique concept, and that more than anything is what's so good about this game. There's nothing else like it. Uh, you know, coming over from flat games, people who are new to VR, they all seem to have this mindset that that graphics are what's most important when it comes to gaming, and that's why I think that Superhot VR is a great beginner title, because not only is it a stationary game, there's no locomotion, it's not going to make you sick, but it's so fun, and it's proof positive to the new VR gamer that it doesn't really matter how realistic that the graphics look. You can have fun in VR. Uh, Roots, talk a little bit about the graphics. You tried this in the Rift S recently this week, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was actually that was one of the things that blew me away is like I got in the Rift S and I thought, man, I'm gonna get to see Superhot in high def, a new screen, amazing. And I got in there and I thought, wow, it looks the same. And then I realized, you know, just what you said is exactly the point, and why it's so good on every platform. And the PlayStation, the Quest, it doesn't matter. It all of them, it looks amazing. So because it is a very basic graphics game and it's all about the movement. So I really want to try this on the Quest, and that was the reason why I picked this game. Really, is I really wanted to showcase it because I think a lot of people, yourself included, need to get this game and then tell me how cool it is.
Right, right. Yeah, I think it would be good on Quest, and I think uh, back to the Rift S for a moment. Uh, I agree with you. It looked pretty much identical from the Rift S to the CV1 Rift to the PlayStation VR even, and I bet, you know, I haven't tried it in the Quest. I bet it looks identical in the Quest as well, and that's that's one of the reasons I think that this game has had this kind of longevity is because uh, the real magic here is in the concept. It's not in the graphics. It's not in the sound or anything like that. It's the game mechanic here that's so great. And one of the interesting things about the prospect of playing this on the Quest is, you know, we've had all these different iterations of Superhot. We've had the flat version. We've had all these different VR versions. But I think with the Quest, for the first time, it really presents a different, uh, a change to that concept. Because whereas when you're tethered, you're kind of stuck in one place. When it comes to Quest, you're going to be able to move through space. Uh, and that prospect really intrigues me. Uh, the idea of being able to actually move, it may make the game easier, but it's going to make it different. So as much time as I've put into this game already, I feel like playing it on the Quest could probably make it a new experience.
Yeah, I was thinking just the aspect of like, you know, that one video or that one game that they released footage of last week where there was like the warehouse and it was the local one-on-one shooter or whatever. I was thinking how cool it would be to play this game in a huge area because I've seen guns laying across the way and I thought I can get to that gun, and I thought how cool would it be if I had a big enough space where I could run and I could grab that gun and shoot, and just the aspect of how that would change everything because those guys aren't going to just be chilling there, right? It just would, having more space, I think that would make this game so much cooler.
Yeah, yeah. So even though I have this hard and fast rule, you know, I've already bought this game on PlayStation VR. I have it on Viveport. I've got access to it on Steam VR. I kind of have this rule that I don't want to buy a game I've already paid for again on the Quest. When I catch Superhot VR on sale, uh, I'm probably going to go for it just because of what we just said, that this is a different experience. And going back to what you said just then about seeing these guns in the distance and actually being able to get to them, what you're actually seeing there, I think, is, you know, when you play through Superhot, the scenes that you play are adjacent to one another. So you're kind of moving through this space. So when you see this gun off in the distance, it's often the gun from the last scene, the gun that you dropped in the last scene. So I've actually played around with it a little bit, you know, when I'm playing Superhot, and actually attempted to toss myself the gun in the next scene. So after I kill the last guy, I already know where the next scene's going to be. So I throw the gun in that direction. I smash the little grab thing, and all of a sudden I'm in the next scene, and the gun's coming flying at me. And
Really?
it, it
Wow.
takes it takes a lot of patience and practice, but I did pull it off a couple times, and it was really cool.
That's crazy. I never even thought about that. That is next level thinking ahead. Also, well, it's not cheating, right? They put it in there, so um, you know, that's next level. It really shocks me.
Well, it really shocks me to hear you say that, because I can think of a specific scene later on in the game that I don't know how I would have gotten through it if I didn't do that. So by you saying that, obviously you made it through it without throwing yourself the gun. So that kind of makes me want to go back and watch some other people's playthroughs now to see how they got through that, because I definitely I got stuck for like ever. And the way I got through it is by successfully tossing myself a gun and yeah, I don't see how else I could have done it.
I'm curious to know now what level that is. Yeah, actually played through this whole game, and I know they've added extra stuff, I think recently, or maybe not recently, but or maybe I haven't played through the whole game. I don't know.
They added some extra modes to it to give it some replayability. Uh, they added an endless mode I can think of off the top of my head, so that you can just play forever in this game. But the base game is still pretty much the same game as it always was.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up. There's not a whole lot more to say about this game. Ruuts and I both love it. It's an awesome game. It's great for beginners and the veteran VR player alike. Ruuts, what's your final verdict? This is a game that retails for $25. Up until recently, it didn't go on sale very often, but I've noticed more and more that you can catch it for $15, $16, $17. Do you recommend this game at full price, or do you think maybe that people should wait for a sale?
Yeah, I mean, it seems a little. I think it's a couple hours long. 25 seems a little steep. It does go on sale a lot. I mean, I know when it first came out, you didn't see it on sale very often at all. So, I would wait on a sale. I mean, it's worth $25, but you know, I know the devs are probably, you know, ready to smack me, but yeah, I would wait.
Yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from there. A year ago, I would have said definitely pick it up for 25. Let's not mince words here. This is one of the best that VR has to offer, and it's a must-own title. The only reason that I'm suggesting that you wait for a sale here is because you can. This thing goes on sale pretty regularly now, and why pay more, right?
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, with that said, I think that's going to wrap up our discussion of Superhot VR. What do you think about the game? Be sure to let us know in the comments down below. And if you've liked the video, if you like what you've seen here, be sure to click the like button. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell if you want to keep up with all of our nearly daily content here on the Virtual Strangers channel. All right, with that said, I want to thank you guys for watching, and for Ruuts, I'm Wes, and thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow, friends.
Stay easy.
Bye-bye.